In January 2008, eCademy subject matter experts Thomas and Penny Power had their knowledge productized for global release. The video you're about to watch is the result of that process. To find out how to create your own line of knowledge products for global monetization, or to view videos from other knowledge experts, visit www.productizeyourself.com.
But you can't publish for the sake of publishing, hoping that you'll get covered by Google. Because if you're publishing nonsense, it won't be indexed, because it won't be highly linked. If I were to say I'd like to introduce you to somebody who's not very well connected, you wouldn't be particularly interested in meeting that person. If I say to you, I'd like to introduce you to Stuart, he's very well connected in property, you think, oh great, I'd like to meet someone who's very well connected. Online, we're talking about publishing content. The more connected the content is, the better it is. That's the logic of what Google are providing. The less connected it is, the less quality the content is. And that's the same for individual connections.
It's the quality of the information that you're giving out to people.
Correct.
Rather than the quantity. So it's the quality.
It's the quality. And the quality of debate that it starts amongst other people who are so-called experts. Yeah. So you've got to, going back to that very first question at the beginning of the session, what is your expertise? You've got to work hard on figuring out what your piece of expertise is, and then publish into that demand. So you are known for that particular niche, super niche, tiny, tiny niche, and be an expert in that, so that not just you're the expert, but it's what other people say about you through their comments on your questions, through their comments on your articles, through their ability to take your article and put it on their website or link to their blog or their profile, whichever network it's in, whichever website it's in. And the greater the number of links, the greater the number of questions. If we were to take the subject, say, of business networking, just zoom in so you can see, I just put business networking in there. I'm clicking on search. If I drag across there, you can see there are 21.1 million references to the area of business networking. 21 million references. Effectively 21 million links. 21 million connections to that particular subject of business networking. If I change the subject to, say, social networking, and I click on search again, and we move across, we can see there are 10 million links. So right now, the subject of business networking is still a bigger debate than social networking. Social networking is a newer debate. Arguably, business networking is being debated twice as much. It's being talked about twice as much as social networking. And these references are effectively the links or the connections that Google are indexing in their history book that we call a search engine. But what they're doing is very much like a tape recorder. They're just watching what is published on the screen, on the TV, and they're recording it on a tape and then putting it in a book for people to look up. So they're recording history in real time. The more you can create debate around your area of expertise, whether it's property, whether it's learning, whether it's call centers, whether it's networking, whether it's health and well-being, whether it's science, whether it's software, the more people who respect that content, the quality of it, the higher the number of connections on that particular article, the more people are attracted towards your particular profile.
So the key to a blog is to stimulate comments, even negative comments.
Yes, it doesn't matter what people say, whether it's positive or negative. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. As Oscar Wilde always said, the only thing worse than being talked about was not being talked about. So it doesn't matter how controversial. The key is we're all in a publishing war of being known. And if you don't publish, no one's going to know that you are an expert. And you could be the greatest expert in the world. You could have more credibility than anyone in the world in your particular field. But when people search on Google, if they can't find you, you are invisible. And if you don't have the expertise to write, I always believe, if you don't have the expertise, outsource it to somebody who does. As Penny said earlier, that could be somebody else's flame. Writing could be your wax. Your flame is something else. Outsource your wax, focus on your flame. So is that providing a little bit more insight into blogs?
Yeah.
Any more questions? Dan, you got a question on blogs?
How does the blogging inside eCademy overlap with something if you have a personal blog with WordPress or something like that?
Okay, what you can do with it's a good question. What you can do with your personal blog,
Yeah.
I'll show you here, is you can bring your personal blog inside your profile.
Okay.
So if I go back and load my profile, you have the opportunity to take anything that you're taking from another source. So I have a blog outside of Academy called A Friend in Every City, and you can see through that feed there I can bring that into my profile. So anything you publish elsewhere, and I know you publish one, and Paul, I know you publish one, you can bring that in, so it's being picked up here as well as over there. So you're getting another link to a place that's already well linked.
Okay.
So you've got linked content already hooked into another place that's well linked, and you should bring your content in from other sources to as many places as possible. It's no different to putting this book, A Friend in Every City, like the blog, in lots of trains, stations, airports. The more train stations or airports this book is in, the more opportunity there is for somebody to see it, maybe to read it, maybe to buy it. The less visible, the less connected. So try and bring as much of your external content into your profile as you can. So blogging, just to summarize what blogging is all about. Blogging is all about building your personal profile still. But it's not a sales pitch. It's about the development of your expertise. It's about people knowing what you stand for, knowing what you are an expert at. Blogging is about asking questions. So when other people ask the same question that you've asked, and they might easily put that in a search in Google, they'll find your question and the people who answered your question, and they click on that and see all those comments. So you're helping somebody else find the answer to their question. And it's about attracting people towards you, because I think if you don't publish, you'll never be found. And everyone in this room and everyone around the world has credibility in something. You are an expert in something. But having credibility and expertise is not any good if nobody, when they look in Google, can find it. So you've got to be visible and credible before you can become profitable. That's the area of publishing and blogs.